Yo, what's up, everyone? Tyler from Aspire Sports. We're doing a Dynasty startup draft. It's just a regular one quarterback league. Um, we got the only thing that's kind of different about this league is there's two flexes, but other than that, it's just a one quarterback. I believe this is full point PPR league. Got to double check. Draft settings. Yeah, this is a PPR league, a full point PPR league. All right, so we got Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, or Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, then Justin Jefferson. CMC, Najee Harris. Gary the Snail is up on the clock. Najee or Dalvin Cook, PPR. For me, it's really close, to be honest with you. I can understand why people want to go Dalvin just because the offense is better. But you know me, I love the young Bucks. This emergency, Tyler, I need a fantasy team name built around either Burrow, Swift. I'm not sure. Hey, what's up, Rock Out? I'm not sure. I don't have any team names right now. I haven't thought of team names yet, just because I haven't done many drafts, like real drafts with my team. So I haven't really looked at teams. I have my first real draft tomorrow, $200 league. Um, so after that, I'll have a good idea. I'll have some good team names. Can you fix your camera? What's wrong with the camera? Draft Dave Montgomery and Robbie Anderson.
And I'll
Yeah,
have a good.
yes. Who would you take at the 11 and 14 spot? The 11th and 14th spot, I would probably either go with like DeAndre Swift, Stephon Diggs, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams. One of those guys is who I would go. All right, we're about to be on the clock here. We got Austin Eckler. This is a dynasty startup, my guys. All right, so who I'm hoping, honestly, for a dynasty startup. Um, do I take the risk? Do I take the risk? Do I take the risk? There's two guys that I really want. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take for a dynasty startup. I'm gonna take Kyle Pitts, and then hopefully my guy gets to me here because this is full point PPR as well. Need a draft guide and weekly update? Yes, go check it out. CD Lamb 5th. This is a dynasty startup. I mean, he should go earlier than that, I think. Zeke or Hall? Hall for me. Would you take Chase and Diggs if you could go? Yeah, I would do Chase and Diggs. Nice. And we get Brees Hall. Beautiful. All right, we got the guy that I wanted. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We got Kyle Pitts and Brees Hall. Love it. Kyle Pitts is trash. Yo, this is a dynasty startup, my guy. For dynasty, Kyle Pitts is absolutely goated. All right, so that guy went with Dalvin Cook, Debo Samuel. I'm building more for the future. Honestly, I shouldn't have probably even went with Brees Hall, but he's 20 years old, so I don't mind it. I probably should have went with like AJ Brown, but it's all right because I love Brees. He's only 20. A lot of their 3 running back targets for Dynasty. So honestly, if you're doing a Dynasty startup, I want to do what I just did. I want to went with Brees Hall. The only reason why I went with Brees Hall, because honestly, in the second round, I don't mind it there. He is my RB5 for Dynasty, and he's 20 years old. He's really the only running back that I would want to take. Um, Other than that, like I would honestly just do like a 0 RB build for Dynasty startups. What's Dynasty mean? Like Dynasty means you're just drafting these players for basically forever. And then you're just drafting incoming rookies. Don't listen to this guy. He has no clue. I'm sorry. You must not have played Dynasty, but that's okay. Hall early, what's the difference between Dynasty and to PPR? Dynasty is like, think of Dynasty as you're building a Madden team, right? You're building a Madden team. That's basically what Dynasty is. Drafted Emmons and Etienne. Was I smart on that? Yeah, I like both of them. Saquon or Kamara, Dalvin or so I would go with Saquon over Kamara, and then Dalvin or Eckler. I would go with Eckler. I got Cook and Etienne in the same draft, 10-man. That's solid. That's really good. And what's good, Tyler? Yo, what's up, Ozai? Diggs or Debo? For me, Diggs for sure. Sutton or Mike Williams? I have Sutton, but I love Mike Will. What? No Etienne? Not for Dynasty. Like Etienne's already 23, where Brees Hall is 20. So I'll have Brees Hall probably for the next 6 years, and that's what I like about it. Dynasty, keep your team year after year. Yes, you keep your team year after year. What round do you draft quarterbacks? For redraft, like super late. For dynasty startups, it kind of depends on where the quarterbacks are. Like, I'm not really worried about snagging, especially in a one quarterback dynasty startup. I'm not really worried about drafting quarterback early. How do you do dynasty? Um, why did Javante go so early? This is a dynasty startup, so it's not a redraft. You do dynasty like the best place, in my opinion, to do dynasty is like MFL. There's just so many customizations, but I think sleeper like MFL is kind of weird. I would do sleeper. Sleeper, I think, is the best to do it. Am I missing something? This draft weird is this is dynasty. What's up? Mock or real? I just joined. Please tell me this is dynasty. Yes, this is a real dynasty startup. Should I draft AJ Brown or should I trade AJ Brown for Josh Jacobs? I'd rather have AJ Brown. Would you trade Etienne and Javante for Dalvin and Michael Thomas? Probably not, to be honest with you. No, don't trade Brown for Jacobs. No, I would definitely keep AJ. Show the other picks. All right. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard, but there's the other picks right now. That's what you're looking at for the draft board. That's what the draft board's looking like. Remember, this is a dynasty startup. This isn't redraft. Of course, quarterbacks go early in two quarterback. Yeah, this isn't two quarterback. This is just regular. Is Josh Jacobs going to be good for PPR this year with Devontae joining? No, I don't think Josh Jacobs going to be good for PPR. More of like in like standard scoring, he'll be good. These are just their names, not team names. What pick is yours? My pick's right there. I got Kyle Pitts. I honestly should have went with AJ Brown instead of Brees, but thinking about it, like I think Brees could be one of the best running backs in the NFL in the next couple of years, and he's only 20 years old, so yeah. Etienne above Saquon is wild. I mean, Etienne's 23, Saquon's 25, so he's got him by 2 years. Is this a mock? No, this is a real draft. This is a real dynasty league. Tony Pollard at the 3-3, Dimes. Dimes taking Pollard easy. Brees has a higher ceiling than AJ. Yeah, I think AJ Brown's already a stud, and I think like wide receivers typically are more valuable, especially if Brees doesn't hit. So I don't mind it though; it's whatever. All right, so we got coming back. I'm going to go with a wide receiver. We have quite a few wide receivers available. We'll have some good wide receivers available on the turn here. Mark Andrews or Kittle for redraft. It's skip me with 5 seconds left. Wait, you keep getting auto drafted? Mark Andrews or George Kittle? Mark Andrews. Didn't know it was dynasty. My bad. Brees, AJ easily. Yeah, this is dynasty. I know a lot of people won't realize it. They'll say, "Oh my god." I mean, you should. I guess. No. I mean, there's no chance that Derrick Henry would go this late. Nor would Etienne go this early. The other picks, definitely Kyle Pitts wouldn't go that early in redraft. All right, so I'm about to be on the clock here. I got Jalen Waddle, DK, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson. I have DK the highest in my rankings. I know DK's situation isn't great, but maybe the quarterback situation can change. How old is he? He's only 24 years old. I'm going to go with DK. Yeah, I'm going to go with DK. All right. We got DK. Hope DK gets traded. I know that's the thing. Hopefully something happens in Seattle where the situation changes. Where should Zach Ertz and Dawson Knox be good pick? Like for me, I would honestly draft him in like the 9th round. Scale of 1 to 10, how crazy it is take Pittman at the 2-1 PPR redraft. At the 2-1, I think it's pretty crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't take Pittman that early. For redraft, no. Who finishes number 1 in all of fantasy? That's tough. Let me think about it real quick. Hold on, I'm on the clock. So we got, who do we have? We have Brees. I'm going to go with another wide receiver here. How old is Deontay? He's 26. It's not too bad. Ooh, you know who I'm going to go? I'm going to go DJ. I'm pretty sure I have DJ higher. I don't have my Dynasty rankings up, but I'm pretty sure I have him and those two guys are really close. But I'm going to go with DJ's only 25. I'm going to go with DJ. Where's DJ at? All right, so there we go. T. Higgins already got drafted. T went 210. T went 210. Someone is going to take Malik Willis late. I might take a shot on him super late. Damian Harris or AJ Dillon? AJ Dillon for me. DJ is a stud, I know. I like the squad so far. For Dynasty startup, I'll take that squad. I love Kyle Pitts just because I think Kyle Pitts will honestly be the if they can get a quarterback, I think Kyle Pitts will be the best tight end in the league for a long, long time. I think he's an absolute stud. Brees Hall, 20 years old. I think he can be my bell cow for years to come. And then I like DK. Just hopefully these two guys can get a quarterback. Maybe Baker kind of hits, and that's good for DJ. DK can get a quarterback. So yeah. Is it easier to go 0 RB in Dynasty? I think it is. Just because like especially for this year because 2023 draft class is going to be so loaded. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about YouTube chat. Thoughts on AJ Dillon for Dynasty? I do like him for Dynasty because I think next year, honestly, AJ Dillon has a chance to be the guy. Will Nick Chubb be a top 5 running back in PPR with Deshaun Watson? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any chance. If Deshaun was only getting suspended a couple of games, then yeah, I think there's a legit chance. But no, I would have taken Najee over CMC. I agree. I would have done the same as well. All right, was Pitts your first pick? Yeah, Pitts was my first pick. This is for Dynasty Startup. Not, I wouldn't do it, but is this tight end premium? No, this isn't tight end premium. The only reason why I went with Kyle Pitts is just because I think for the next decade, there's a legit chance he could be the tight end one for years to come. That's why I went with him that early. Pollard over Kamara is crazy. I agree. I think Dimes kind of. Oh well, Dimes said that he couldn't. That was Dimes, and he said that he was auto drafted, and then he took it off. Unfortunately, the poor guy couldn't make the pick. Who do you think is the number one for a redraft? I think it's JT. In my opinion, I just think that JT is that guy. Diggs or Debo? I would go with Diggs. For sure, Diggs. And how's everyone doing? If you haven't already, do me a big favor, hit that follow button. Also, hit the like button if you're over on TikTok. And if you haven't already, go check out the draft guide. Link is in the bio. Over 20 pages of written up content, over 20 pages of player rankings. There's about 50 pages total in the draft guide. So go check it out. And if you're looking for a little bit one-on-one time, like to get your draft all figured out, also the link is in my bio. Go check that out as well. Great content. Appreciate you. Are you worried about CMC's injury? I mean, a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Who do you have finishes as the wide receiver one? Jay Jettis. Why do you shave? I don't know. I shaved just because I felt like it. Like it gets to a weird point where it's like it's either I gotta commit. I gotta let it fully grow out, which I don't like to in the summertime. It's just too hot. So I shaved it. So it's either I gotta fully commit and let it grow out because it's kind of patchy a little bit, or I just shave. So I just was like, it's too hot for a beard right now. Later in the football season, I'll grow it out. I have the first pick in my redraft, my draft tomorrow, and Nick Chubb as my keeper. I'm going to draft JT. Should I draft a third running back or just take Kyle Pitts if he falls? In like the second round, I want to take Kyle Pitts there. I would go someone unless it's like a tight end premium, then that's different. Thoughts on 0 RB strategy? I mean, I think it works if you can pull it off right. Pitts in the first. This is for a redraft. Javonte Williams or Leonard Fournette for PPR. I have Lenny just a couple of spots higher. For everyone that doesn't know, this is Dynasty Draft. This is not Dynasty Draft. Or this is a Dynasty Draft, not redraft. Who should I take in the fourth in my draft? I think guys that you should target are like Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Marquise Brown, like wide receivers like that, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, like whoever you like out of those guys, who you should go in the fourth. Why do you think Saquon? Why do you think Saquon over Fournette? So the only reason why I just think Saquon's a better football player. I mean, Fournette is attached to a better offense, but I just think that Saquon's way more. He's a better football player and way more explosive than Fournette is. And I think the Giants' offense can be a bit improved under Brian Dable. I still don't think it's going to be like really good, but I think that it can be improved. And I think that he can match his reception upside. Fournette, that is. And at some point, I always say this, but at some point Tom Brady's going to fall off. All right, I truly don't think that he's going to go to age 50, right? Maybe this is a year where it's kind of like a Peyton Manning-esque fall off. I highly doubt it. But at some point, Father Time's got to catch up to him. So I'm just not. I'd rather go with Saquon. I think he's a better football player. Has everything that just needs to stay healthy. And he's only 25. Pick 2: Mixon, Diggs, Adams, Debo, Kamara. Mixon and Diggs, or Mixon and Kamara, whichever one. Mixon, Diggs, Mixon, Kamara, whoever you want. Who should I take 4th in the draft? Oh, 4th overall, I would go Jay Jettis to Cooper Kupp. Is that you at 11? Yes, this is me at 11. This is for a Dynasty startup, not redraft. This is a Dynasty startup. All right, so we're about to be on the clock here. Deontay goes in the 5th round. That's late. That's really good value there for Deontay. I love Deontay. All right, so when I'm on the clock, I know who I want to go. There's a couple of guys that I'm willing to take when I'm on the clock. There's a few guys I want. Swift, Etienne, Herbert, Judy is the worst top 4 I've ever seen. Swift, does somebody have that? Swift, Etienne, Herbert, Judy. Even for a Dynasty. Okay, I thought this was... No, this isn't a redraft league. No, this is Dynasty. Can you explain a little bit about Dynasty Startup? I've never done one. Always do redraft. So Dynasty, like, the best way that I can get... the best way that I can explain a Dynasty... Oh, there goes Amon Ra. I honestly was... I kind of wanted to go Amon Ra there. But the best way that I can explain a Dynasty Startup is... Imagine you're playing Madden, right? Imagine you're playing a Madden for... fantasy football. All right, Madden fantasy football. That's how you want to approach your draft. Like a Madden. Yes, I get my guy. I get Hollywood. Hollywood. Let's go, baby. All right, so imagine you're playing Madden franchise mode, except it's for fantasy football. You draft your team. You keep your team every single year. You're only drafting incoming rookies. So you're only drafting incoming rookies year in and year out, and you keep your team forever. All right, we got Kyler going. There's really no running backs here. Like, there just no guys that I really like in terms of running backs on the board here. I'm just gonna keep going wide receiver. I mean, I just don't like any of these. There's no good running backs on the board, unfortunately. I'll be able to get a couple later. But like the running backs on the board right now, I don't like at all. So I'm just going to keep going wide receiver because this is 2 flex. We're playing 2 flex. And I have 3 wide receivers. So this will be my 3rd flex. Mike Will. Pitt's 1st round. This is for Dameon Pierce. Yeah, he is on there. He's a little bit later. And there will be better ones later. I mean, for my RB2 spot, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to take... Right now, I'm not going to take, I don't want Josh Jacobs. I'm not interested. I guess I could have went with Josh Jacobs, but honestly, I don't really care. RB2 spot will be a spot that I can just punt and pick up on the waiver. Well, not on the waivers on this. This will be pretty tough. But there's other guys later that I like. I'll take my shot on later, like Kareem Hunt, get him for a couple of games. Dameon Pierce, Chase Edmonds, Rashad Penny. Like, there's a lot of guys later that I'll be able to get. My strategy is draft defenses, trade for an OP team for 32. Oh, for 32 team. Terry or Sutton? For me, I would go Sutton. Appreciate your time, no problem. And here, Tyler's it is the best, isn't it? You're really banking on the next few years with your squad. I think right now, yeah. I mean, I honestly, like, I don't want to win this year. I really, for me, I don't really want to win. I'm totally okay with losing this year in my Dynasty startup because next year's draft is absolutely loaded. So for me, like, I'm all about building up for next year because I think next year's draft class, like you could have in next year's draft class, honestly, like a Justin Jefferson, a Jonathan Taylor, Justin Herbert next year's draft class. I think it's absolutely loaded with prospects up and down the board. So I think for this year, if you're doing a dynasty startup, trying to kind of, I hate to say it, but just tank for next year is honestly a good strategy to do. This is dynasty, yeah. How did Keenan fall that low? I mean, he's 30 years old. He's getting up there in age. And this is also dynasty. Sutton, where's Sutton? Yeah, I like Sutton over. Someone asked Terry or Sutton for me. Renfro or Sutton. What's the website you're using? This is Sleeper. So I get to start 2 flex. So I got Hollywood, Mike Will, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf. My running back is Brees Hall. Kyle Pitts, obviously the tight end for the future. I like my squad. I'm liking my squad so far. I don't think I'm going to win that many games this year, but I'm totally fine with that once again. I'm fine with just tanking. Tanking and getting guys in next year's draft class, trade throughout the season, maybe get a first round pick for next year. That's okay with me. That's what it's all about, baby. All right, so here's the rest of the draft board. I'll go ahead and show the rest of the draft board. There's those middle round picks. That team looks like it's definitely going to probably win this year. That team's looking like next year. But then next year you could have those running backs be very, very iffy. Darren Waller, I think, is already 29 years old, getting up there. Cooper Kupp, obviously, for like the next 3 years, he'll probably be, so good. Rashad Bateman's not bad, for sure. But definitely that team looks like it's probably has the best shot as of right now out of all these teams to probably win this year. And then there's the rest of the draft board. Hey kid, where's Tyler? Yo, what's up, Ruckus? This is Tyler. Where's with my beard shaved? How favorable are you on CEH this year? I heard a stat where he isn't targeted much in the red zone. I don't really like CEH, but if you're doing like a 0 RB build, then that's fine. Why is Antonio? I don't know. Doing a draft at 10:30. I got 3. Who should I expect in the second round? So, how many teams is it? Is it like third or 3 teams or what? How many teams is it? I got auto picked. You got auto picked Dalton Schultz. Hey, at least you got a tight end. If it's like 12 teams in the second round, you're probably looking at like Tyreek Hill, possibly like Nick Chubb, maybe like a Mike Evans or Debo will fall that late. I doubt it. One of those guys, probably Mike Evans. So that's kind of who you got. Oh, you got Devontae Smith. I mean, that's not bad. Why you shave? I remember when I was 12. I had to. It's because it's summer, right? I'm not gonna have a full beard in summertime. That's crazy. I'll be sweating. How you been? I've been good. How you doing, my guy? How you doing? Oops. I took Javonte in the second round. How do you feel about that? That's fine. So I've seen a lot of people that say, and I've been on the crowd that like when they re-signed Melvin Gordon, I didn't overreact because that team waited forever to bring Melvin Gordon back. I truly do think as the season progresses, you could have, I mean, maybe even to start the season, this is going to be like a 65-45 split or a 65-35 split. And then I honestly think that it could be like at some point in the season, like a 70-30 split, maybe even more. I think Javonte Williams, this point in his career, is just much better than Melvin Gordon. I think he'll show it this year. So, all right. So who we got here? Now we're looking at, do I even bother going RB2 with these guys here? There is a guy that I'll probably take because I think I could get a couple good years out of him. I think what I should do is just kind of go Best player available. I think what I could do is honestly trade Allen Robinson at some point in the season. I think Allen Robinson is going to be really good this year, and I think I can trade him to a contender and possibly get a pick out of him. So I'm going to try to do that. Just trade Allen Robinson to a contender, and then what I'm going to do is I'll go with my next running back. I'll try to compete this year a little bit. Um, and I feel like he can outperform his ADP, and I could possibly trade him as well. Chase Evans. Do you think I should Renfro for Allen Robinson? I'd want Allen Robinson. Don't draft a player to get a player to play. Don't draft a player to draft, get a player to play. Uh-huh. Well, I'm like here. Let's see. Ready for this year? People ragging you on your beard. I know, right? Ready for the season fantasy? Yes, I can't wait for football. Javante going early. He is. He's going like second round. But this is a this is a dynasty startup. That's why it's Don't draft a player to trade. Well, here's the thing: is I'm not looking to try to win this year. That's my. Now I do think that I have honestly. No, I'm not. I'm not going to win this year. But my point is, that's the point. I'm not trying to win, but I do think that Allen Robinson will be really good this year, and I think that at some point in the year, a team that is looking to try to win, I could trade Allen Robinson to that team because I do think that he could be really good, especially say like something happens to Cooper Kupp. Like I could trade Allen Robinson and make a killing off of him. Um, and just build like for next year. That's kind of what I'm looking at here. I don't think that I have a team to win, and that's fine. Like I don't want to try to win this year. I want to just try to build for the future. But Chase Edmonds, I do think Chase Edmonds fine as like a RB2. He's another guy that I don't mind. And say, hey, maybe Brees is that guy. I think my wide receivers are solid. I do like my wide receivers. Why did Henry go? I've never done Dynasty, so I understand. Well, so like all I'm trying to do here is I think I have a lot of high upside kind of guys, where maybe things kind of shake right. Like I do think my team has the chance to make a solid run. Um, I don't think they're going to, but I do think like some of these guys, like I'm very high on Marquise Brown and Mike Williams. I'm very high on Allen Robinson. Say like DJ Moore and Baker really hit it off this year. I mean, shit, I'm looking at four guys that I really think have a really good shot at being top 20 wide receivers this year. Top 20 wide receivers. And some of them, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if like Allen Robinson finishes at top 12. Mike Will easily could finish as a top 12. So I think I have the upside, but like DK, I think that he's going to not, I don't think he's going to be very good this year. But I think, later down the line, if he can get a quarterback, he has a high upside as well. Like your squad and P Dog. Yeah, I just don't like Derrick Henry, but I mean, for me, like, I don't think his squad, I don't Drake London, Chris Olave for this year. I mean, I like Cortland Sutton for this year. But I just, like, it's kind of a mix of what exactly is he doing here? Because I don't think that he's going to be able to win. Like, I feel like that's a fringe team to make in the playoffs. And I would just get rid of Derrick. I wouldn't have gotten Derrick Henry. I would have went with a guy like a little bit younger, like a Travis Etienne. In my opinion, that's the only thing I would have done differently, is go like Travis Etienne. A lot of fires, yeah. Your entire team is a question mark. Only drafted for a chance at upside. I mean, I disagree. No stability. I mean, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for upside kind of guys. Plus, I got like this is Dynasty, right? For Dynasty, I mean, how old is he's young, isn't he? 25. He's 25. He's 24, 20 years old, 21 years old. Like my team is young as fuck in these early ages, in these early stages, especially Brees. He can be my workhorse back for the next 5 years. He's only 20 years old. Kyle Pitts probably be the next tight end one for the next 8 years after this year if he can get a quarterback. I mean, Kyle Pitts' upside is massive. DK, we know he's a stud. Hopefully, he can get a quarterback. I mean, I'm definitely going with upside guys. I mean, that's kind of the point in fantasy, isn't it? Why would you want a Brandon Cooks in fantasy football to score you right around, 13, 14 points a week and finish as wide receiver 20? Like, to me, that's not something I want. I want a guy who has a shot of being a top 13, top 12 kind of guy, which I think a lot of these guys do. And no shot am I taking, a stability guy and Brandon Cooks who's a perennial wide receiver 19 finish every single year. No thanks. I don't want that garbage on my team. I love Brandon Cooks. I think he's a tremendous player, but no, I don't think he has very high upside because he's unfortunately attached to a terrible offense. All right, so next here, did somebody take the guy that I wanted? Ah, shit, George Pickens already went. I honestly wanted to go George Pickens. I'm not gonna lie. Rashad White goes. All right, so I got to look at who I'm gonna take here. Trey Lance went. Should I do it, chat? I think I might do it. How old is Ramonde? He's 24. I don't really like that. A little bit too old for my running back. No thanks. I'm not going to take Ramonde. I thought he was like 22. I'm not taking him then. All right, so I'm on the clock here, and I have a tough decision to make. I really don't like a lot of these players. This guy already has a quarterback, so I know I don't have to go quarterback here. I can just go with a guy. I have my quarterback that I want to take next. I don't really like anybody that's on the board. I'm not going to lie. Any of these guys, I'm going to have to kind of reach for a guy, although I don't even like any of these guys. What I'm going to do here. How much time? 16 seconds. You know what? How old is he? 24. He's going to be a free agent next year. We're going to see what happens with Madison. Deshaun Watson, son of a... It auto-drafted him. Deshaun. No! There goes my quarterback. Yo, a damn auto-draft. Fat rip. Man, that kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. That was the guy I wanted. I was like, there's no shot he's taking a quarterback. Then the damn auto draft. All right. I'm going to have to pivot. I'm going to go quarterback here because I'm building a team more for the future. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. Don't really like him that much this year. But once again, I don't really care about this year. I'm more building for the future for next year. If Trevor hits, if he can be the first overall pick that he, hype, then hey, we got a quarterback for a while who's actually kind of mobile. No, he wasn't going to play the first 11 games. I don't care. That's fine. Julio Jones will finish wide receiver 9 after the first 8 games. Will not finish this. That's so true, Adam. That's so true. Trevor going to do great. I like Trevor. I honestly just wish I would have gone Deshaun, though. I'm not going to lie. I really didn't think that was going to happen. I should have just went with Deshaun because I was like, I don't really want Alexander Madison. I should have just went with Deshaun. Oh, well. It is what it is. Didn't work out. Bro, Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes went off the board at round 3. Why is he suspended 11? That's what the NFL chose to do. Trevor's a better pick. You think so? I think that Deshaun, I think he'll be really good. Yeah, both sides agreed on Deshaun Watson's suspension. Chase Edmonds feels so risky. Your other picks are good, though. Yeah, well, with Chase Edmonds, I don't... Like, my hope for Chase Edmonds is that he's a really solid high-end RB2, right? That's kind of my hope. Because I think that a lot of my picks are kind of high upside kind of guys. Maybe they don't really work out. Maybe Marquise Brown finishes closer to wide receiver 20. Maybe Mike Williams kind of regresses. It doesn't really matter. Like this is what I'm looking at. Like I think my first 4 rounds are really, really good. I love these guys, like building a future with these guys. I think that's fantastic. A really good nucleus. These guys are high upside guys. I think Allen Robinson will be really good this year. I'm not honestly worried about Allen Robinson. I think he'll be really good. Alexander Madison, he's in a contract year. Maybe something happens to Dalvin Cook. He stays there. Maybe he goes somewhere else. He's RB1 for that team. Whatever the case may be. What I'm looking to do this year is I think I have a team that could be honestly pretty good, could be competitive, or it could be pretty bad. And if that's the case, I just hope that I hit on I kind of hope that it's not even needed, but I kind of hope I hit on Chase Edmonds of being like a high end RB2, and then I can just flip him for maybe like a second round pick or something. And then Allen Robinson, I do think that he has a lot of upside in this offense, and maybe he hits, and I can flip him too. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It doesn't really matter. But I love my like nucleus of players. That's what I like. Samori Toure. Honestly, I was taking him a lot in a lot of my dynasty, like my 4th round draft pick in a lot of my dynasty startups. I haven't really seen anything on him though. I mean, obviously the big talk is Romeo Dubs. Dolphins have like 5 running backs. Yeah, but I think Chase Edmonds clears them. I think Chase Edmonds is the best running back in that backfield. Trade Aaron Jones and AJ Brown for Kamara. No, no, I probably wouldn't do that. For redraft, I don't think I would do it just because there is that chance that he could get, suspended. Dak would have won your league, Tyler. I think Dak's already gone. Yeah, Dak won in the 9th round, which honestly isn't bad. Pitts is crazy talented, but what if he stays there and always ends up mediocre numbers in fantasy? I mean, that's obviously a risk, but I think that the talent, I'm just buying in the talent. I think he's so talented. Um, and he's young. Like how I believe he's only 21, right? I think he's only he's only 21 years old. He's a wide receiver playing tight end. Was wide receiver 6 in point PPR last year. I don't think that was his points per game though. I don't know what he was in terms of points per game. I just think he has massive upside. I mean, maybe the quarterback situation they never kind of get it figured out. But I'm just betting on the player, which I think he's just way too talented for that to happen. Where was he last year? He was quarterback or tight end 11 points per game. What do you think of Allen Lazard? Honestly, I was thinking about taking Lazard there, right here with my pick. Just kind of a dart throw where if he does end up being the wide receiver 1, hey, I mean, in the 10th round, I don't mind it. Thoughts on Javonte? For Javonte, I like Javonte a lot, especially for redraft, for Dynasty too. Where do you have DK? DK's like wide receiver 24-ish for me this year. Just I hate the offense. That's the issue. And if you guys haven't already, hey, do me a big favor, hit that follow button. Also, go check out the draft guide. Link is in the bio. Over nearly 50 pages of both player write-ups and draft strategies, my round-by-round strategy, who I'm kind of looking at, on top of over 20 pages of player rankings. So go check it out. Link is in the bio. Rate my draft. 1 sec. Times. Where do you have if the Browns get Jimmy G, do you think Amari will be top 10? No, I don't think Amari will be top 10. I mean I don't really maybe like him a tiny bit more. I don't think Jimmy G is honestly very good. I think he was just a product of a really good system. I don't think Jimmy G is honestly that good. All right, so I should have been looking at who I'm going to take here. You know what? You know who I'm going to take? I mean, he's still on the board. How old is he? He's 27. I don't really care. I'm going to take him. Another guy, I mean, I don't really give a shit at this point. He's going to be suspended for the year. I don't really care. That's okay. With Calvin. But in Dynasty, why not? And you know who I'm going to take here as well? I'm just going to see how it plays out. I'm going to see how it plays out. I mean, I don't really think I want to take him this high. What round is it? Round 12. But I mean, this team obviously doesn't like him. I feel like it's kind of a reach, though. There's just no one else that I'm super crazy about here. We're gonna take him and see what happens. Brian Robinson, baby. Pickens been off the board for a while. He went in round 8. Yeah, this is what we're looking. We're looking. This is ugly. What we're looking at now. Did Ridley not appeal his suspension at all? I don't think so. What team are you? I'm this team right here. This is a dynasty startup. Remember, not Isaiah Pacheco. He's a guy that did he already get taken? I wonder if he was taken. No, he wasn't taken yet. I mean, if he gets back to me, I would take a shot. I don't think he's going to be any good. This is a free league? Yeah, this is a free league. I have DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is currently wide receiver 24 in terms of redraft leagues. It's where I have him currently ranked. Dawson Watson's 11 game seems weird to have an odd number of. I agree. I feel like 12 was kind of weird. I don't really know how they came to 12 or 11. I mean, 11 games is weird. I don't know why they did 11 games. I don't know. It did feel weird. I agree. Rate it. Dimes. Let's see. I mean, I feel like it's solid. I just don't love the running. Like, I guess Tony Pollard, he's not bad. Like, that's definitely going to be a team that you're too wide. I mean, you have JJ. I would say like a 7-3, 7-2. Who is that? Jamal Williams, Amir White. I mean, I guess Rashad Penny isn't bad either. You got Dalton Schultz, Alberto, in case he hits. It's not bad. I'd say like 7-2. JB's team's looking fire. Who's JB got? I mean, for Dynasty, you think that looks good? I don't like that team at all for Dynasty. I'm not going to lie. Dave Montgomery, not very good. Josh Jacobs, not very good. I mean, hopefully Kadarius Toney hits. He already has 2 quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league. 2 tight ends in a non-tight end premium league. Both of them are very, very average. I don't really like his team at all. Remember, this is for a dynasty league. I mean, I love the 2 running backs, but no thanks. Am I stupid if I take Justin Jefferson 2nd overall in my draft? No. I think that's fine. It's because 11 games because the Browns play Texas. I know. Like, it feels so intended that the NFL did that. As like, okay, he's gonna play against the Texans. Like, I just feel like that was so lame. Most leagues don't even last 5 years. Sure, but I mean, for even like a redraft league, like I'm not crazy about that team. Like if you're talking redraft for this team, like how good is that team for redraft? I mean, I'm not sitting here saying, wow, that team's gonna win the ship. Like, I mean, sure, Austin Eckler, Saquon, Tyreek Hill, that's a solid start. But then, like, Joe Burrow in the 4th round, I don't think Dave Montgomery is going to be much this year. Josh Jacobs, very meh. Amari Cooper, very meh. Dawson Knox, Mike Gesicki, like, I mean, I don't sit there and say, wow, that team's going to win it all. Dynasty needs to be a mixture. No, I agree. I agree. I mean, I will say this for Dynasty though. Like if I'm doing a Dynasty startup this year, I personally wouldn't mind drafting a team that is filled with just young guys because I think this draft coming up is absolutely loaded. So, like for me, what I kind of did here is I went with a lot of high upside guys where if they don't really hit, that's fine. I like my nucleus a lot. Um, and I can just use this draft. Like my team sucks. I don't really care because I think that the draft, the 2023 NFL draft is loaded with really good skill position players. No Elijah Moore. He went at the 6-12. I could have went with Elijah Moore over Mike Will. I just think that Mike Will kind of gives me a better chance to win within the next couple of years. 3 first-round picks next year, absolutely goated. You think Kamara will play a full season? I certainly think that there's a chance. I think there's a chance he could get suspended for the fantasy football playoffs, though. 12 team, pick 5, 12 of 12, who we draft, and I love my RBs. So if you love your RBs, then I would go with like Swift, Saquon, Kamara, like either one of those guys. I mean, what I would personally do is just pick your favorite running back and then go with like Stephon Diggs is honestly what I would personally do, but it's up to you.
Like,
Doesn't feel like a real draft since you haven't picked a Ravens player yet. Maybe I might go Gus Bus. How about that? All right, so we're on the clock here. Let's see who we got. Not looking great. Yeah, this isn't looking good. But honestly, who I'm going to go is I'm going to go Michael Gallup. He's still on the board. Once again, I don't really care if he doesn't play that much this year. I'm not worried about it. Next, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. I'm going to get a QB2 in Kirk Cousins. And I'm only going to carry 2 quarterbacks. And I feel like Kirk Cousins here is good. Because say my team actually does surprise me a little bit, and they're actually pretty good. I think that Kirk Cousins will be solid enough for the next couple of years that he could give me a shot to win in a 1-quarterback league, so I'll take him. Do you draft defenses in Dynasty? Yes. In this Dynasty league, yeah. Do you take Kelsey at 12? I have a hard time taking a tight end. No, I wouldn't take him at 12. I would take Kelsey like mid-second round. Judy or Williams? Williams. I would go with Williams. Get Dameon Pierce. No, Dameon Pierce has been gone for a while. He went in the 8th round. He's been gone for a while. Like, this is kind of the bottom of the barrel what you're getting right now. I mean, I don't mind those 2 guys for where I just currently got him. I don't love Gallup this year, but I mean, Gallup for the future, I don't mind it. Just signed a contract extension, high-powered offense, 26 years old, will be the number 2. I mean, I like it. I like that pick. And Kirk Cousins, I think, honestly, would be my QB1 this year over Trevor Lawrence. And hopefully Trevor Lawrence takes a big step forward this year, which I think he can. And then, he'll be my quarterback of the future. And then maybe I can, as a late kind of veteran, your teams that are looking to make a playoff run, a lot of the times those kind of teams look for just an older, savvy vet. What were your first rookies taken? My first rookie taken was Breece Hall. I mean, I took Breece Hall. He was my first rookie, and I don't think I took another rookie. I took Brian Robinson, just in the chance that maybe he ends up being a really big factor for Washington this year. He could. Should I trade Javonte for Pittman? I'd rather have. What are we talking? In region, I mean, I would rather have Javonte. Bateman or Harris at the flex? Harris. Wait, which Harris? Are we talking Damian? No, I wouldn't go with Damian. I'd go Bateman. Should I draft 2 running backs with the 6th pick and next one? I mean, I don't think that you need to draft. Like, I don't think that you need to go into the draft like thinking, oh, I need to do this. I'll just take best player available. Thoughts on Buffalo's backfield? Who would you take? And like full point PPI, I'd probably take James Cook, but I don't know. I just didn't really like James Cook in the pre-draft process. Are you going to the Steelers game this year? Possibly. I don't know. I would like to. My friend really wants to. He's a cop, and he really wants to go. He's a big Buccaneers fan, and Tampa plays Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh this year, so he really wants to go to that game. So I might go to that game with him. We'll see what happens. I have the same quarterback room, but I have Brady. You have Brady. Yeah, I think that Brady's a really good quarterback for those teams that are trying to kind of win it. You know what I mean? Like a 1-year deal type of thing. Who should I take 5th pick in a 5-man league? I would go with like Jay Jettis, Cup, unless you want a running back like Austin Eckler, Dalvin Cook, one of those guys. Is it good that I drafted traded Debo for Mixon? I mean, I think it's fine. Yeah, whoever you like the most there. Swift or Kelsey? Swift. Like, I understand why both sides may do that trade. Pick 10. Who you taking? If Jamar Chase is there, him. Otherwise, I'd go with like if Najee's there, Najee. Otherwise, like DeAndre Swift. If he's there, him. Joe Mixon, somebody like that. Pick 6. Who you taking? Pick 6. You like the same. If Jamar Chase is there, him. Jay Jettis, Cooper Cup, one of those guys. There, him. Jonathan Taylor, CMC. JT for me. Schultz or Waller? Waller. I like Waller. All right, so we're getting close to being on the clock here, and all right, no, I'm not going to do that. There's not much on the board. I'll say that. It's looking pretty slim pickings out there. I have an idea of how many running backs do I have? 4? I have 4 running backs right now. I have an idea of who I'm going to take. Gosh, it's ugly. Running backs are really ugly right now. Looking horrendous out there. How old is Gus? Is he like 25? Gus is 27 years old. Holy shit. I'm not taking Gus. Pierre Strong's 23. Dearness is like 20. Dearness is 26. Damn. These guys are old. I know I'm not taking any of those guys. Looks like we're going wide receiver, which is fine because there is a guy that I want to take. I'm going to take. I'm kind of torn here. Who I want to take? Did somebody take him? Joshua Palmer. They went Joshua Palmer. That's honestly who I was going to take. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with KJ Osborne. I don't really like it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with I'm going to take Khalil. At some point, he may be able to win this slot job later in the season. So I'm going to take him. Is this a super flex mock? No, this is a dynasty. This is a dynasty startup. This is a real draft. Lance or Hurts? Hurts. How long you been going live for? I don't know. A hot minute. It's been a while. I'm not sure how long it's been. Dynasty startups take a while. How many rounds? 2, 4, 6, 9 more rounds. But these will go fast. A lot of people are on auto pick. So we take KJ Osborne. We take Khalil Shakir. Khalil is a guy, honestly, that I liked. And I don't think he's probably going to be much, but hey, maybe he ends up fighting for that slot job in Buffalo at some point. Who knows? Who do you take that Breece Hall as your RB1 and DK as your wide receiver 1? Who you take? I went with Kyle Pitts. And this is what my team looks like at the start of my draft here. And I'm going to end the live stream over on TikTok. I'm going to reboot it here in a minute. That's what the start of the draft looks like for me. Which honestly, I like the start of that draft. Oh yeah, this is Dynasty. Yeah, this is Dynasty. This is what the start of the draft looks like. So honestly, I like it. I like the start of this draft. I like my team for a dynasty startup. I mean, running backs aren't great, but that's fine. Brees Hall will be my anchor. He'll be my stud for the next 5 years. Um, I mean, I have Chase Edmonds. He'll be good enough to kind of get me through this year. I don't think my team's going to be that good. I do think my team has a lot of upside. Whether or not they actually, all hit, I mean, they're not all going to hit, but maybe a couple hit, and I have a really solid team this year. Maybe I could try to compete. I don't. I honestly don't really want to compete, but I do think I have a chance to compete. Um, but my goal is a couple of these guys hit, and I can sell them off for next year for a first round draft pick next year's draft, and like fully rebuild, and not rebuild necessarily. I think I have a really good nucleus of guys, and then head into next season with a absolutely loaded core of guys. Yeah, Pitts and Brees. Yeah, I love those two guys. Both super young. We got our bell cow running back of the next 5 years, who I think Brees will eventually develop into that. Maybe not so much this year, which is totally fine. Once again, I don't care if I lose this year. I'm not really worried about that. Um, I'm more of looking for next year and building in this draft. Yeah, I mean, I think that my team has very high upside. I mean, I love Marquise, I love Mike Will, I love Allen Robinson. I'm not so high on DJ Moore and DK Metcalf this year, but I feel like these guys will be really good this year. And there's 2 flex spots, so I'll be starting 4 wide receivers every single week, so I like that. Where did Kenneth Walker go? That's a good question. Where did he go? Kenneth Walker went 5th round. Someone took Trail. Oh, that's not a bad squad. He took Traylon Burks, Kenneth Walker, then Elijah Moore, and George Pickens. That one team is looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And he has Cam Akers and JT. All right, I'm on the clock now. This is getting real ugly. So, any running backs that I could take a shot on, maybe get me through a couple of weeks or a week or two. How old is Chris Evans? He's 24. I'm going to go with the second tight end. I'm going to go with Evan Ingram. Maybe he hits this year. Maybe he doesn't. I don't really care if he does or doesn't. 17th round, I'll take him as a second tight end. John Mechie. I don't really like any of these wide receivers. I'd rather just take a stab on one of these running backs. I really don't want Gus. I feel like out of all the running backs that are on the board right now, there's one guy that could make an impact this year. I don't mind Eno Benjamin. I think that he has a real chance to be the team's number 2. But I could probably get him. I'm going to go with Dearness, honestly. I feel like Dearness could have a real shot at doing something this year. If something happens to like one of these two guys. Maybe they do end up trading Kareem Hunt and then he operates as the number 2 behind Nick Chubb. Maybe can get me through a game or two. I really don't like Dearness, but I'll take him here. I'll take the shot on him. This is a dynasty startup. How many teams are in this league? 12. It's a 12 team. Tyler, you a believer in? Yo, I love Descott. Wait, what? What is that? Prescott. I like Dak. Is James Conner going to get third down volume this year? I don't think so. I don't think he'll play on third downs. That's kind of honestly why I'm thinking about going. If he gets back to me, I'm going to go with him. I should honestly go at defense here. I kind of forgot that defenses are being drafted. Oh, there's defenses that I really like still on the board. I'm not worried about it. Where's Amon Ra? Amon Ra went early. He went like 5th round. I was gonna go with Amon Ra, but he got taken. He went right there. I was gonna go with Amon Ra here, but then I ended up going with Marquise Brown. Tyler Beatty. So what do we think of the squad for Dynasty startup? I like it. I mess with the squad. I like it. I think this team is going to be really good this year. This team right here. I think this is a team that's like built for this year, especially. And then after next year, I mean, the running backs get a little iffy. I mean, going to be 28, 28, 27. So running backs are getting kind of old there. I mean, Ramonde is not bad. He's 24. I mean, I love Trey Lance. Wide receivers are good, though. I mean, Bateman, Cooper Kupp, that's good. Renfro will be solid. Even Christian Kirk. You know, I like that. The only problem is the running back situation, but maybe next year you can kind of build in the draft. Got to go, Tyler. See ya. Yours better, not better than mine. How do I think Etienne's going to do with James Robinson coming back? Not worried at all about it, to be completely honest with you. James Robinson still has yet to play a real snap against a live defense yet. Trying to have you say Dez caught it. Oh, Dez caught it. Bunch of no names this late. Got to really know who that deep. There is somebody that I'm hoping he gets back to me. I don't want to say him out loud because I feel like somebody's going to try to take him. So I'm hoping he gets back to me. Van Jefferson, Corey Davis, Rondell Moore. Yeah, my guys. The Iron Ghost, solid. See you, Tyler. See you, Dimes. How do you feel about Dave Montgomery? I don't love David Montgomery, to be honest with you. I got Brees and Javonte Williams, my RB1 and 2. You concerned about split backfields? Not so much for I think both of them will be in the plus side of the backfield split. Like they'll definitely lead the backfields. The only issue with both of them is I do think Javonte Williams will play third downs. Like I think he'll be involved in third downs. The only issue I have with Brees is he going to be involved in third downs? All right, so who I'm going to take here? I'm going to take a flyer on Eno Benjamin. Maybe he ends up being this team's third down back, which honestly would be nice. We'll see what happens with him. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with him. Then I'm going to go with the defense, and I'm going to go. I feel like the Eagles are building a really good defense, but there's also the Packers and the Steelers are honestly still on the board. I'll probably be able to get did I just go another wide receiver? Calvin Austin, Paris Campbell. There's no one I really like. I'm just going to go with the defense. I'm just going to go with the Steelers because they're my favorite team. I'll go with whoever falls to me on the way back. Oh, shoot. I need a defense and a kicker. I forgot we have kickers in this league. I sent my team to you on Twitter. I got to do that. I got to rate teams. Yeah, I know. I think the Packers will be really good. I'm kind of in the same boat. Will they be a good defense in fantasy? Because usually the good defenses aren't always good defenses in real life football either. Like they're opportunistic defenses. Like that's kind of what you want for a fantasy defense. So we'll see. I mean, I think the Packers will have one of the best defenses in the NFL. A bunch of no names. Who's your dark horse team this year? Dark horse for what? To win the Super Bowl? Dark horse to win the Super Bowl. Let's say I'll say I'm going to go, you know who I'm going to say? I'm going to say the 49ers, baby. 49ers. I think the 49ers have a really good team. And what if What if Trey is that guy? What if? What if he's that guy? I feel like the 49ers have everything else. They just need that quarterback to get them over that hump. And what if Trey is that guy? What if he is? L list W Tyler though. L list for what? I don't know what L list for what. I mean, it's a draft. It's a dynasty draft. Should I trade 206, 305, and 507 for the 104 and 409? Wait, Tyler, you're a Steelers fan? Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. I don't know if I would do that. I wouldn't do that. Isn't Chris Carson retired? Yes. Your last one? What was my last one? I don't even know what my last list was. What was it? Javonte, Brees, Jay Jettis, DJ Moore, T. Higgins. I mean, I love that. Yeah, that's really good. I love it. I'm not sold on him yet, but I think he's got potential. Yeah, I think Trey's got potential. That's why I think that's why they're a dark horse team, because I do think really San Francisco has everything that they need to be a true. I mean, look how good they were last year. So I think San Francisco has everything they need to be a true Super Bowl contender. And if Trey can be that guy, I mean, I'm not sold that he is that guy. I think he's going to still need some time. But if he ends up, tearing up the league, he doesn't even need to tear up the league. He just needs to be slightly above average. And I think that team has a legit shot to go deep, deep into the playoffs. Just comes down to him, though. I mean, he could be absolute garbage. I don't know. I think he'll be really good for fantasy, but for real life football, I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. Is the Packers defense young? Chat, is the Packers defense young? I don't really know if they're young or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's a fucking defense. I feel like the Eagles defense, I don't even know. I mean, the Saints too. The Saints are there. Jimmy G wasn't slightly above average. No, he wasn't. He was not slightly above average. Jimmy G is fucking garbage. That's what Jimmy G is. He's nothing more than a game manager. Kyle Phillips. I could go with Justin Ross. I'm just gonna go with Isaiah McKenzie. Maybe he ends up being the slot receiver for that team. And then I need to go with another defense. I'm gonna take Green Bay's defense. I think Trey Lance will be absolutely. Packers always draft good, so I would imagine. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Green Bay's defense. No, I think Trey Lance will be phenomenal for fantasy. I don't know if he's going to be really good for real life football. I mean, you don't have Jalen Hurts wasn't very good for real life football last year, but was phenomenal for fantasy. So I think that it just depends with him. But I think if he can be, slightly above average, then yeah, I think that team has a legit shot to make a deep run. I traded my 104 in Dynasty to get the 107 and 112. Worth it? I probably would have kept the 104. Are you saying for this year's draft? I don't really like the 107. I mean, it's not like what I would do is take Sky Moore. You'll probably get one of the top 5 guys. George Pickens, Sky Moore. I think those two guys have really high potential. I would probably go with those two guys who are just like kind of, Yeah, I'll show my full team. I need to draft a kicker here. Let's see who's going to be my kicker. I'm going to go with Ryan Suckup. He's still Tampa Bay's kicker, right? Heated battle. He's in a heated battle. Oh, I mean, we're going to go with him. I don't really care. All right, here's the full squad. So here's the full squad real quick. Let's take a look at it. Remember, this is for Dynasty. This is a Dynasty startup. It's a one quarterback non-tight end premium league. So this is 12 teams. There's 12 teams in here. So here's the squad right here. So this is what the squad's looking like, and here's just my thought process behind it. I got my anchor tight end for like the next decade, 21 years old. I think Kyle Pitts is a generational talent at the tight end position. Honestly, he's probably going to change the tight end position because he's like a wide receiver out there. Next, we have, I think, an anchor running back in Breece Hall. I think that Breece Hall, he's only 20 years old. Maybe he's 21 now. Is he 21? He just turned 21. So he just turned 21. Will be my next running back for the next 5 years. I like it. I think he can be an RB1 for sure. He's my RB4 and RB5 in Dynasty. And then I got a bunch of wide receivers. I love a lot of these guys. I mean, not so much DK and DJ for like this year. I think DJ has possibility, potential. DK for this year, I just don't think it's going to be it, but I think he's an absolute stud. Got paid. Hopefully, the quarterback situation changes for these two guys. Maybe Baker ends up being decent. Love these guys' upside. Chase Edmonds, I think that he can be a solid RB2. I think I have a team that's either going to fall flat or honestly has a good chance to compete, depending on how these guys do. I think they're very high upside kind of guys. And if they hit, then I think I have a team to compete. And I think Chase Edmonds, as my RB2, gives me that shot. If anything happens to Dalvin, I got Alexander Madison. He's also on a contract year, I'm pretty sure. Trevor Lawrence, QB1. Honestly, wanted to go Deshaun, but Trevor Lawrence, if he can take that step, which I think he can, great. Calvin Ridley is suspended for the year. I don't really care. For Dynasty, though, maybe next year, he'll be good. I don't know what happens with him, but we'll see. Brian Robinson, I mean, this team just doesn't like Antonio Gibson for some reason. We'll see what happens with Brian Robinson. Michael Gallup, I just felt like was way too good of a value to pass up. I don't think he'll play more than half the season, but that's okay. Once again, Dynasty, I'll just wait on him. Kirk Cousins, I think he gives me a much better chance to win this year than Trevor Lawrence. So if my team is good, well, I have Kirk Cousins there. And then KJ Osborne, say Adam Thielen just continues, his health continues to decline. KJ Osborne, a really good offense. Khalil Shakir, I liked him in the pre-draft process. I think that he could overtake this Buffalo slot receiving job, so I don't mind him. Evan Ingram, I think he's a guy that, as my second tight end, I mean, I don't really give a shit. I think he has high upside, but he could also just be an absolute dud, and who cares? Dearness Johnson, if anything happens, say they do trade Kareem Hunt, if anything happens to Nick Chubb, I mean, he's the next guy. He kind of showed that he can be decent. Benjamin, maybe he wins out the receiving role on this team, and he's kind of the receiving back, kind of like a Chase Edmonds. Honestly, don't really mind that. Pittsburgh and Packers defense, Isaiah McKenzie, I think that he'll start the year as a slot receiver for the Bills. We'll see if he holds it for the full year, and then Ryan Suckup. So that's what we're looking like for the full team. I think DJ Moore has a career year, insanely talented. Yeah, for me so far, I mean, I really like my draft. I think my team is definitely built for the next year, and I think maybe I do bad this year, and that's okay. I have, this draft is absolutely talented, and I have a lot of good pieces to work with, whether they're trade fodder or just stay on my roster and I try to make a push. Whatever the case may be, I feel like I have a lot of movable pieces on this team, so I'm happy with how it turned out. Packers always draft. Oh, Chris Boswell, he's a stud. I could have went with Chris Boswell. I was thinking about it. AJ Brown and T Higgins redraft. I have T one spot higher, but whoever you want. And horrible quarterback DJ is good, but not on that team. Yeah, I mean that's maybe Baker ends up being good. I don't think he's going to be, but I think DJ Moore is just that good. So hopefully he hits. If not, oh well. All right, so I'm gonna hop off. I'll be live tomorrow. I actually got a real draft tomorrow, $200 buy-in league. It's a 3 wide receiver, full point PPR league. It's only 1 quarterback. So I got that draft tomorrow. I'm really excited. I'm going to do some mock drafts, a lot of mock drafts tomorrow to kind of prepare. So if you haven't already, go get in the Discord. Link is in the bio. We run mock drafts a lot. So go get in the Discord. And if you haven't already, go check out the draft guide. Link is also link is in the bio. There's over nearly 50 pages of content, from player rankings to write-ups, round-by-round breakdown, draft strategies, all that happy fun stuff. Go check it out. Link is in the bio. And lastly, if you want one-on-one fantasy football advice to prepare for your draft, to prepare for this fantasy football season, also check that out. Link is in the bio. Help you out for an hour. Go check that out. So appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for hanging out, and have a great night. Peace out, people.